Hello, greetings. I hope you are all doing well today. I have my coffee, so I'm all good. And we've got a lot of neat stuff to talk about. So let's get to it. We could always talk about dogs. Yeah, some student dogs. And here's a scene I saw in Amherst this summer. Well, not Amherst, Hadley. Driving past a farm. There's a fruit and vegetable stand there, farm stand, and you can't see it, but an ice cream stand, which is one of the more popular places to visit. Those people have a two-lay carrier. We need to get another one. We had one for 10 plus years that we'd use to go north to ski. But over the years, it's developed a crack, and so time for a new one. Okay, cow crossing. Actually, it's not a cow, it's a bull, which you can tell, but okay. More dogs. More problems with markets, talking about care economy, care labor. Things to do, big points, the care economy is big and getting bigger. People live longer and they need more education. Some care is done through the market, some by family and friends. Fundamental problems with the care economy. Idiosyncratic care and asymmetric information limit the exit option. So if you're unhappy with the care you're getting, you may not be able to find anybody better. Care receivers cannot pay for the care themselves. Somebody else is paying for it. Third-party insurance companies, or more commonly government and families, are paying for somebody else's care, and they may have they may have different incentives. Their incentive may be to spend less money. And care providers themselves are always competing with free care. It's kind of a presumption that family members are supposed to be taking care of these people. So, daycare and teachers are competing with moms and dads. Nursing homes and long-term care people are competing with sons and daughters. Problems with marketplace care are a gendered issue. I said moms and dads and sons and daughters, but we all know that most care is done by most child care is done by moms, and most elder care that's done within families is done by daughters. So it's mostly the problem of poor pay for caregivers is mostly an issue for women. Caring labor nurtures and educates people, producing a public good, education, health, moral values, human and social capital, productivity. We all benefit when other people are healthy and educated. Loyalty, cared for people help each other. This is the moral values. We need people who are going to be considerate of other people. Morals, we want to live with people with good values, honesty, personal responsibility. Care labor creates such people. I keep saying kind of the same thing, that the most important thing produced by the economy is not a thing, it's the people. And it's the values of the people with good values. And there's an insurance function to the care economy, because sometimes we all need somebody to lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. Things happen to people, and we all need someone to lean on. Babies are born. Even if they're born healthy, they need somebody to take care of them. kids and other people get sick and go to the hospital. People get scared and they hurt and they need somebody to help them. Care labor is becoming more important. Childhood's longer. Used to be that at 6, you'd start working in the fields or wherever. By 16, you'd be apprenticed or working as a domestic servant. Of course, you'd be dead by 40. Childhood's longer because nurture an affluent society. We depend on creativity and cooperation. And we need to train people for this stuff. So we teach people to play the piano. And at the other end, we live longer. I mean, if you live to 65, you may have 20 more years. I should look it up. 20 plus years life expectancy. Life expectancy at birth for Black men is 65. White men is 75. White women is 79. Black women is 75. And by age 60, life expectancies, like I said, another 20 years or so. Well, no, more than 20 years. 20 years will only get you to 80. And if you made it to 60, then it's really 25 or 30 years. And in between, in between being a child and being a demented elderly person, we often need care. We get sick, get this, develop short-term disabilities, maybe long-term disabilities. Puppies need lots of care. Babies, and he's like, come on, there's no way this person's going to take care of themselves. Humans are the only species that cannot give birth without help. I mean, that tells you something. Human women need somebody to help them push that big head out of the teeny tiny crevice. It just goes on from there. Human mothers need somebody to help them after birth. It's like getting up and start walking around like horses. No, people need rest. They may have bleeding. They may have all sorts of complications. And as for the babies, how long before a baby can feed itself? More than a year. How long before a baby can actually gather food to feed itself? Even longer. So we all need care sometimes. And about 42% need care regularly. Adding the number of people under age 18. Oh, I know you say 17-year-old, 18-year-old. Well, yeah, right. There are some of you who are paying your own tuition, but come on, most people your age need a little assistance, obviously much less than a 10-year-old or a 2-year-old. Under 18 basically need care. And among those over 18 who report some form of disability at the moment that the survey, the behavioral health survey, there's more to the title, but behavioral health survey, that's at that moment. But sometime during the course of the year, even more than this number need care. So that's 60 million people over 18, 140 million people. Care labor is productive, like I said. Insurance is value in itself. Investing in care is good economics, promotes human capital and employment growth. Family income is associated with children's academic performance. Give poor families money to care for their kids, test scores go up. Higher test score is a good thing. I don't know, but higher quality childcare leads to higher levels of education, employment, and health. High quality childcare raises test scores. Paid family leave improves children's health, reduces asthma. Access to pre-K childcare produces higher academic skills in upper elementary school and high school and college. Improving child outcomes increases employment. In addition to improving child outcomes, access to subsidized childcare increases employment and raises incomes for families with young children, which leads to higher test scores and better life outcomes. So investing in care is a good thing. Now, again, this is all that stuff's important. Test scores. I don't think test scores are very important in themselves, but I suppose they do reflect something. But the bigger thing is we want to widen the circles of reciprocity. Going back that tens of thousands of years, people generally engage in reciprocity. That is, I help you. On the general sense that sometime you're going to help me with family. So you're nice to your brother in the kind of vague expectation that they'll be nice to you sometime. Generalized reciprocity within families. That type of generalized reciprocity is really, really important for a well-functioning society. Think about it next time you're walking into a building and somebody just lets the door slam in your face. Or think about it next time somebody doesn't clear the table in the dining commons. Or somebody sneezes and just lets it go. There's all sorts of behavior that does not reflect generalized reciprocity. By contrast, think about all the times people do help strangers with no particular expectation. This is not a market transaction. A market transaction, I do something in the expectation you'll do something back to me. Generalized reciprocity is where I do something for you in the kind of vague general sense that maybe someday somebody will be nice to me, or whatever. You were just raised with good morals by parents who taught you that you should be nice to other people. Small communities, it's easier. But what we need is for this to widen from circles, communities. We need it to go broader. For a well-functioning society, we need people to be nice to people who they just run into at an airport, because it is so much better for everybody when people are decent to other people. I'll give you an example of generalized reciprocity. I got off an airplane in Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport. There's a flight from Boston, an Air France flight. I always like Air France because the food's better and it's a more comfortable flight. And it leaves Boston, Logan at 9, whatever, and PM. And it gets into Paris at 6 in the morning, something like that. I don't know exactly. 5:30 in the morning. After, you don't sleep much on the flight. So I get off a little groggy. Now there's an espresso bar that is open at Charles de Gaulle at that time, with kind of soggy pastries and, but it's traditional in my family that we get to Paris, we go to we meet at that place. I mean, it's whatever. So I get off and I get my bags and I stand someplace and I call somebody. I don't remember exactly who. I call somebody I'll be meeting for dinner or something like that. And then we go with my daughter to the espresso place. Or I may have been by myself, whatever. And I have some coffee and I wake up. And then I gather my stuff and I realize, oh my God, my laptop. Where did I put my laptop? And I go running around. They go to the Air France, they leave it on the plane. No report. And I'm running around in a panic. Thinking, oh God, I'm gonna be here. I was gonna be there in Paris for the summer. Okay, I can buy another laptop. And I go through this whole thing. Oh, I'll get a refund on the TVA, the value added tax when I leave the country. It's like, oh shit. I'm thinking, well, I've got everything I need on a flash drive and up in the cloud. So it could be, I'm consoling myself, it could be worse. And a guy comes up to me, pats me on my shoulder, and tells me that over there, the laptop's over there. And there it was. I say, I express my thanks, generalized reciprocity. We'd never meet again. I'm never in a position to do anything nice for him. But he helped me. And yeah, I'm sure his hope is that someday, if he's in that situation, somebody will help him. Yeah. I did once help somebody in a situation like that. Way back, I was going to Europe again, another time. When I was post-college, I had 1 year where I actually was a citizen, an honest person. I worked for a year for a labor union, research staff. And I was admitted to graduate school. So I lost interest in my job, which was a disappointing job, but that was okay. Anyway, I had money. I saved money. And I, with a girlfriend, we were going to go to England England, France, flying really cheap flights. The trick about this cheap flight is you had to get in line. Basically, I'd stay overnight, sleeping on the streets. And JFK airport wasn't that far from where I was living with my parents. So, and there was a family, a French family, and they were kids and everything. So, so I chatted with them, and then I left my girlfriend to hold that place in line. I drove home, picked up these old seat cushions left over from a swimming pool that my parents' old house had, and then they'd moved to, whatever. They had these around. Took them, gave them to the French family. Made that night so much better. Never met them again. Generalized reciprocity. It makes life so much better for everybody when people are decent to each other. Maybe because I was nice to them, this other guy, who knows, maybe it was him. I don't know. Okay. Now, to be sure, markets do provide care, and we call it insurance. We buy insurance to have care when we need it. We give up money now for protection. You can think of generalized reciprocity and the care economy as communal insurance. We take care of the elderly, look out for the needy. I'm thinking that there, but for the grace of God, go I. Joan Baez has a song, actually Phil Oakes song. Show me the hobo who sleeps out in the rain. There, da 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 da. A young man who for the reason why there, but for fortune go you and I. Okay. Good care is not like other commodities. Care labor recognizes the values and individuality of the person. This doctor is able to give better quality care to this woman because he knows her. He knows what she needs. Let's go back. Okay. He knows her. He knows what she needs. That woman, the care her daughter is giving her, it's not like the care anybody else has. There's an emotional connection. There's idiosyncratic knowledge. Their relationships. that are inherently monopolistic. If she doesn't care for her mother, there's nobody who will give her that type of care. As my sister, my oldest sister, once had a giant fight with my mother, with our mother, and walked out, slammed the door, opened the door. I was in the next room. And my sister Iris shouted out at our mother, "This is worse for me than for you, because you have 4 other children. I have only one mother." Some care work is done through the market. We hire nurses, we hire teachers, we hire prostitutes, escorts. That's market care. Some Johns think that the prostitute with the heart of gold actually cares about them. Some do, I don't know. And for some purposes, this type of care can be very good. Like, some people would prefer to have a paid nurse take care of them in some ways than a family member. It preserves their dignity in front of their family. I definitely think, and I think my children agree, that they were better off being taught by teachers than being taught by their parents, or certainly taught by their father, who is a terrible teacher. Although they often preferred being taught by me than by their mother, because their explanation is, "Dad just gives us the answers. You make us figure it out." My wife is a better teacher for them than me, but whatever. Anonymous relationships. Elliot Spitzer preferred to pay some woman for sex than to have that whatever type of sex from his wife. And Matt Gaetz. Okay, not funny. Although, to be sure, I did not know that Venmo you can turn off the public. I thought it was so weird that you have this public option that they're always showing you everybody else's transactions. Like, who wants that? But I didn't care very much. But, turns out you can turn that off. Matt Gaetz didn't know it, and he should have known it. I pay for gardening and things. Send money to my kids occasionally. When it's appropriate. Daughter Rosa had COVID, and we sent her $40 to pay for takeout food. Anyway, Matt Gaetz and his sex trafficking. Okay, care usually comes from. We have some of both, and there's a place for both. Family and friends, grandmother. 54% of seen cares from family members, usually daughters. 46% from market, and there's a place for both. But there are particularities of care work that make for problems. Care labor is undervalued because market care competes with free care by daughters, wives, mothers, sons, husbands, fathers, friends. People who need care cannot pay for it themselves. Obviously, there are a handful of really, really rich people, but most people who need care, they're disabled, they're children, they're babies, they are elderly. These people generally don't have the money for the care that they need. How could they? One aspect of people who need care is they can't work because they are disabled, too young, or whatever. And care is idiosyncratic. You can't shop around. Even if you're getting care from a paid nurse or a paid teacher, it's difficult to shop around for somebody else, because whoever it is who's caring for you, they do know things that are special. Idiosyncratic. They know where you keep your toothbrush. They know how you feel about getting a shot, and how to give it to you in a way that works better for you. And of course, doctors know your medical history. You can see it on a piece of paper or a computer screen, but it's not the same. And care depends on idiosyncratic emotional connections. That looks like a nurse. I'm guessing it's a nurse because she has, this name tag. So I'm guessing it's not a daughter. But this is a nurse who clearly knows the better way to give a pill, or to get this old elderly woman to take a pill or whatever it is that's going on. Now, we hope that the emotional connection, she's caring enough about this woman that she's trying to give it to her in a way that works. We trust that caregivers are not just doing it for the money. If they're just doing it for the money, hold the woman's mouth open, throw the food down, throw the, this pill down. I mean, come on, that's how I give corduroy pills. It's the only way to give a dog a pill. If you've got right. Put it in peanut butter. He doesn't need peanut butter. Put it in a piece of meat. He'll lick around the pill. He's horrible this way. Whatever, he's a wonderful dog. I don't even like saying he's horrible in any way at all, but yeah. Okay. Without good exit. I mean, this kid, they like my sister. They've only one set of parents. She, whatever. This person has one mother, one father. If one father. And many caregivers are unworthy of trust. Where they're supposed to go. Nobody else is going to be a mother or father to this person. Care workers are poorly paid, which also leads to excessive turnover. So that's inefficient. We lose trained people. We lose the idiosyncratic knowledge that they've picked up. People who need care don't get enough care because there's not enough money in it. And those who need care can't get out of bad relationships to get better care. And those who need care are disproportionately poor. So are those who deliver care are disproportionately poor. Same picture. And then there's just all these people who just can't cope. They have emotional problems. If they didn't have problems before becoming homeless, they have problems now. God, this guy's got a guitar or something. Who knows what his future could have been, what his life could have been, but it's not working now. Again, people who are really troubled depend on the kindness of strangers, the generalized reciprocity that a good society teaches people to extend to each other. A little bit of kindness. But caregivers, caring for people can be a really bad idea. Oftentimes care work has to be subsidized by others, such as husbands or the government. So a husband who has a good income pays for the wife's taking care of relatives or just being a nice person in the world. But because those who care are often poor. Competing with free labor of mothers and daughters is a lousy way to get rich. And that's mostly a problem for women. 80 to 97% of, except for other teachers and instructors, which includes college professors. But the proportion female in all these care occupations is over 80%. 88% of total for these occupations. The vast majority of residential long-term care workers are women, and disproportionately non-white and immigrant. So when you get down to it, the care economy, the labor, unpaid labor is done by women disproportionately, and paid labor is disproportionately done by women, with non-whites disproportionate. So when you get low pay for people in these occupations, that's low pay for women. And a high proportion of all working women working outside the home are in these occupations, especially for non-whites. Having children makes families poor. Should we do anything about that? This is actually something where conservatives, even Josh running Josh Hawley, and Democrats, point's been coming to an agreement. Running Josh Hawley and our former governor Mitt Romney, put forward a proposal for extended child tax credits. It was in Biden's Building Back Better program and eventually got dropped when the Republicans abandoned it. But for a while, it seemed like there was real possibilities for compromise there, because Republicans have this idea that we should help families, encourage people to raise children in families. And Democrats have this idea that we should help poor people. So you can kind of come together because so many poor people are families with children. Yeah. It didn't happen, but maybe it will. Okay. Should parents bear the full cost of their children? Should we treat children as a consumption good like jet skis? Quite seriously, I have been in conversations with people, economists, who say things like, well, if people want to have children, that's their thing. Nobody told them to have children, their choice. Nobody told you to go skiing. Your choice. I pay for my skiing, you should pay for your children. Or should we think of children as a social investment? And should we think about taking care of each other, including taking care of children, as part of building a society with a morality of generalized reciprocity? That's what I think. But yeah. Okay. Natural market failure. Market competition does not lead to efficient care. Okay, care is labor intensive, so it's becoming more expensive over time. Ironically, we could become a society where, because we are so productive in everything else, but the value of care is the time you spend. So that doesn't get any more efficient. We can't get more efficient at that. We can pretend to be more efficient. I see on YouTube these ads for online mental health services, and there's talk about AI mental health providers, which there may be a place for this. Some people may get something out of just talking. And if it's a computer, it's very private. You can say anything, presumably. Who knows? I have a little Alexa device right here. Computer, say hello.
Hi.
There it is. So Jeff Bezos is listening to me right now. Okay, anyway. Okay, because care pays poorly, Americans don't want to do it. So as we get richer and richer, Americans won't do it because Americans can make so much more money doing other things. So they don't want to do the care. We either go to the AI route, or we import nannies and nurses. Yeah. More and more of the nurses in American hospitals come from poor countries like the Philippines, Jamaica. Nannies come from Latin America. Oh, by the way, why the Philippines and Jamaica? English speaking. I mean, that version of English is a bit different than ours. The Philippines, which was an American colony for nearly 50 years. They have their own languages there, including Spanish, but English is a major language. Jamaica, English is a major language, although Jamaican English can be very hard for Americans from North Americans to understand, but still, they've got a head start. There are nursing schools there that train people for American hospitals. And nannies from Latin America. Why Latin America? I mean, no doubt they're wonderful people. I'm not questioning that. But why Latin America, not Africa? Because they're white. So North Americans are more, it's okay to have Black and Asian nurses, but white Americans want a white nanny. We used to get nannies, au pairs from Scandinavia. They'd come to the United States for a couple years, take care of children, and travel around. But it's Sweden's just like the US. People have a lot of money. So taking care of somebody else doesn't work. Will we become too rich to take care of ourselves? We'll all start dying young because we can't afford elder care. Mary Poppins to the rescue? Doubt it. Okay, the care economy. We're all going to need care. The market is not good at it. It's a source of gendered poverty, child poverty, elderly poverty, and issues of how will we provide care going forward. Okay. Again, we dealt with some important issues today. I hope you found this useful. You certainly will for the quizzes, the problem sets, and the discussion. So what am I saying? I should cut it out. For me, this is an intellectual activity. For you and your TAs, this is graded. So sorry. But yeah, really, it's like important thing is to stretch your mind, and we're dealing in this class with some of the most important issues. So I hope that you take it in that way. Okay, meantime, quote from me and Corduroy. Oh, he's got his head up. His stomach is growling. What's wrong with Corduroy's stomach today? He didn't eat his breakfast. Okay, bye-bye.